Good morning, class. Today we will start our chapter 3 from page 22 and topic is query. In last class we have completed our chapter 2 and we did in our chapter 2 about MS Access. So we did how to open, how to close, how to search query, how to search in the database, how to delete, how to hide. This whole topic we did in our last class. Once again, very quickly, I will revise the topic which we did in our last class. In our last class, from chapter 2, we did hide and unhide field. Hope so you remember, class. What is that? Hide and unhide field means to hide a record from the database, and unhide means to show back again. We did sorting data within a table. How we can sort data within a table? Just select the data, right click on the mouse and select sort, and the option will come like sort from smallest to largest, or sort largest to smallest, or sort A to Z, or sort Z to A. After that we did filtering in database. Filtering is also very easy. Just right click, select the data which you want. After that, right click on the mouse and select filter option. And by default, all the checks box under the text filter option is selected. So unselect that and select what you want to display. After that, we did advanced filter in database. Advanced filter means like you can take more than two filter. Advanced filter is quite similar to multi-level sort in MS Excel. After that we did searching in database, how we search anything in our database. And hope so you remember that our search option is present just below the database. We did how to close Access application. Just go to File tab and click Exit or Close. Or you can also close your database just with the help of close button present at the right extreme. We also learned how to open an existing database. Now, how to open an existing database? Go to File tab, select Open, and select the recent and browse the file which you want to open. Today in chapter 3, we'll start from page 42 and we will just do the topic query. Now see, our heading of chapter 3 is working with query, forms and report. The first question which I want to ask you, what is query? When we keep records in table, it keep increasing. It becomes an uphill task for any user to extract specific record. Microsoft Access provide us a solution to it through queries. So if we are keeping record in our MS Access, so it becomes huge amount of data and it is very hard to find any particular topic. So MS Access provide us a solution, that is through query. Now what is query? A query is a database object that allows you to retrieve information from one or more database table that meet a specific condition by you. It will sort in separate table called query table. In normal words, you can say that query is a specified criteria to get your data, or you can say query is a simple question that you ask to find a specific information from the database. A query is simple question that you ask to find a specific information from the database. You can find queries to view, change, summarize and analyze the specific data in different way. Okay class, like in query what things you can do? You can view, change, summarize and analyze the specific data in different ways too. Now see, let us understand with the help of the picture. This is the table of employee ID. Now see, I'll show you the form of picture. I went to create tab, see out here, create tab and see out where query is there, this part. So I have to select a table first, then go to create tab second, and this is third. Now let us see after this what will happen. When I select a table, a query design will appear like this. I have to select my table, employee table. Now in the fields I have to add the first name, last name, first name, city address and from the table employees. Can you see this? After that what will happen after I finish this step? After that, now see, this is the first step, second step query design, third step I have to select table. I selected the table, fifth add and sixth close. It will come like this and your query design will appear. And the query design is this. Okay class, let us see the video and understand more.
Goodwill Community Foundation, creating opportunities for a better life.
See the video properly
One of the
and
most
understand.
powerful ways of analyzing your data in Access is by creating a query. Running a query is like asking your database a question. A query can retrieve data from a single table or from multiple tables, and it all depends on how complex your question is. In this video, we're just going to focus on making a simple query that uses a single table, and this is sometimes called an advanced filter. Let's suppose our bakery has an upcoming event, and I want to get a list of all of our customers who live nearby so we can send them invitations. A query is going to be able to go into the customers table and find the names and addresses of the nearby customers. To create a query, go to the Create tab, and then click the Query Design command. And then you'll need to select the table or tables that you want to retrieve the data from. We're just using the customers table for now. Click Add, and then you can close this window. When working with queries, there are a couple of different views that we're going to use. If you click on the View drop-down arrow, then you can see that we're in Design View. When we finish the query, we're going to be viewing the results in Datasheet View, and you can use this menu to switch views whenever you want. The Customers table appears as a small window in the Object Relationship pane, which is this area here, and it has a list of all of the fields that are in this table, such as first name, last name, and street address. And I'm going to resize it so I can see all of the fields. What we're going to do is double-click each field that we want to include in the query. We need the customer's name and address, so we'll double-click on the first name, last name, street address, city, state, and zip code. And we're not emailing or calling them, so we don't need those fields. Each field now appears in the area below, which is called the design grid. Below the field names is the table row, which shows which table each field comes from. And this will become more important when we start dealing with multiple tables. And we're going to modify some of these blank cells to refine our query. We want the results to be sorted by last name, so in the sort row, we'll click the cell under last name, and a drop-down arrow will appear. You can click it and then choose how you want it to be sorted. Next, we're going to use the criteria row to filter the records so that it's only showing the customers who live nearby. First of all, we want to send invitations to everyone who lives in Raleigh, so we'll type Raleigh in the city column, and since we're looking for an exact match, it will need to be in quotation marks. So far, this query will show all of the customers who live in Raleigh, but none of the customers in other cities. But one of the zip codes in Cary is close to Raleigh, and let's say we'd like to send those customers an invitation as well. To do this, we're going to need to add another criteria under zip code. Instead of using the criteria row, we're going to use the row below it, which is the OR row. We'll type 27513 in quotation marks. So now the query will show customers who are in Raleigh or in zip code 27513. Now the reason why we didn't put them both on the same line is that the customers would then need to meet both criteria. In other words, the customer would need to live in Raleigh and in zip code 27513. In some cases, you may want that, but in this example, it will not give us the correct results. Now we're finished designing this query, and the final step is to run it. Click the Run command on the Design tab, and the results will instantly appear in Datasheet view, which looks exactly like a table. If you scroll through the results, you can see that each customer lives either in Raleigh or in zip code 27513. If you want to make any changes to the query, you can click the View drop-down arrow and go back to Design View. And just like any object, it's a good idea to save it. I'll call it Nearby Customers. This was just a basic example, and in the next video we're going to talk about how to make a query with multiple tables. You may want to practice this one a few times before you go on to make sure that you're comfortable with the process.
Hope so you got an idea about query from the video. Let us move forward. What is a select query? A select query is a database object that stores information in datasheet view. A query does not store data, it displays data that is stored in table. So this is very important for you. Query never stores data in it. It just shows the data which is stored in a table. Okay class? We'll just show the data which is stored in your table. It will not store any data. Let us move. What is parameter query? A parameter query is one of the simplest and the most useful advanced query you can create. It allows you to create a query that can update easily to reflect a new search item. Can you see the picture below? This is the example of your parameter query. This means it allows to create query that can be updated very easily. What is cross-type query? A cross-type query is the type of select query only. When you create a cross-type query, you specify which column heading and which field contains value to summarize. Okay class, just remember this, which field contains column heading and which field is containing to summarize. For example, out here I have selected from table product and total. I have selected heading. Okay class, our second last topic is what is action query. Action query is query that makes change to move many record in just one operation. Okay class, What is structured query language? Structured query language, SQL structured query language, is standard database language which is used to create, maintain, and retrieve the relational database. This all is about our query. Next class will continue with setting a relationship between table. This is also a part of query only. There is a homework for you. What is query and define select, parameter, cross tab, action, structure query. This definition is also given on your page 43 in Let's Know More. Important, do make your notes, do your daily homework, and hope so you have completed your chapter 2 notes and back question answer, fill in the blanks, true false in your fair notebook. If you're outside Darbhanga, if you don't have your fair notebook, you can buy any notebook and complete your work. Thank you class, this much for today.